By adulthood, we experience a full range of emotions, and there are fewer places one is more...
This is Wayne Barboza. I'm the founder of R.I.1st Fatherhood group. We're here in Newport, Rhode Island, to investigate a conference called the National Fatherhood Conference. They've been meeting for 11 years, and this is the first time they've met in Rhode Island that I know of. And we have done a little investigating, and we found that the people participants have spent $500,000, at least $100,000 and something thousand this weekend alone, this week alone on the conference. And we felt that it would be curious for us to find out what are we getting for our money. They just on vacation. These conferences seem to be for the benefit of the agencies and the people that work in them. But when we sent a brother to go to get a job or to get some information from child support enforcement or any agencies, there's none in Rhode Island. So we're hoping that they can feed us the information of what they're doing at these conferences that helps fathers. Thank you. They're having the National Fatherhood Conference. This is the 11th one this year. We're doing a shoot up at the Black Memorial. It's one of the nation's only Black memorial that represents and honors the 10% of the soldiers that fought with George Washington. So we figured we'd come by here and find out what the conference was all about. Today we have
John O'Neill, Director of the Nurturing Fathers Program at the Family Nurturing Center of Massachusetts.
Do that again.
Okay, sure.
That was my bad.
Okay. Tell me when. Yeah.
In fact, you want to introduce it? Get you're doing. Okay. I'm beat. It's 4 days I've been at this.
Yeah, for real.
All right, ready?
I'm John O'Neill, Director of the Nurturing Fathers Program at the Family Nurturing Center of Massachusetts.
And what exactly is that program doing?
Well, my program, we engage fathers, and essentially what we do is I get referrals from the Department of Children and Families. I get referrals from the courts, and I have a 13-week program we use a curriculum called the Nurturing Fathers Curriculum. And essentially what we do is help fathers to broaden their understanding of what it means to be a father, in fact, what it means to be a man. So we try to help fathers to become more responsible to their children.
All right, now about the conference, there was 300 some odd people here.
Yes, indeed.
And they all represent some kind of advocacy for fathers.
Yes, indeed.
My question, and what I've been asked continuously, is after almost $100 some odd thousand is spent, does a penny help create any jobs or direct anybody, like say he wants to come and get a job or a place to live or something. Is there any agency that you know of that will help?
Well, there are certain agencies that do help to provide employment opportunities, educational opportunities, housing opportunities in Massachusetts, and I'm sure in most states.
I'm talking about the generic stuff. I'm saying in particular, because once you become a deadbeat dad, as they call them, a non-custodial parent, you know that most of your money that you make at your job is gone to the child support and the court system. What's left is not enough to live off. It's not enough to really go out and look for a job, because you have to have a place to live, change your clothes, eat, and so forth, etc. And this is not working. Now, we've done the data, and we've done the research, and as part of Wayne's project, we would like to know if this conference is helping. In your opinion, what do you think?
Well, I can't speak to that on because there are people here from different agencies that work with fathers in different capacities. I'm not sure what agencies are represented here. I know DCF is represented here and other agencies from around New England. In terms of creating jobs, I'm not sure that's the focus of this conference. The focus of this conference is fatherhood engagement, right? To get fathers more engaged with their families, and to have agencies engage fathers more readily.
This is understood, but again, you cannot be a father unemployed. You cannot be literally a man not knowing your history. Because if you don't know your history, you certainly ain't going to have a past.
Okay, well, you know, in my program, I use a curriculum.
Excuse me.
I use a curriculum that's called the Nurturing Fathers curriculum. It's a 13-week curriculum. And in that curriculum, we deal with many different issues around fathering. And the cultural aspect of it is also dealt within the curriculum. I understand the importance of providing jobs for fathers to be able to support their children. But even before that, right, there are some things that some fathers, you know, need to learn about being a father, about being involved with their children, being involved with their families, right? From my end, what we do at the end of my program, I pass out an evaluation form, and I meet with each father individually, excuse me, and I find out what his service needs are, and then I try to refer him to the appropriate services. I use there's different agencies around Boston that I use. There are training programs that I refer fathers to.
A lot of referrals.
A lot of referrals, exactly, right? We don't provide jobs directly for fathers, although one of my fathers, one of my graduates, I've been able to provide some type of employment for him doing fatherhood work.
And he's doing well.
And he's doing very well.
You see, with the membership we have, they have been through the mill.
Right.
They've been to every program, every agency, homeless shelters,
right,
food kitchens, you name it. That's 3/4 of the fathers in Rhode Island. I don't know how it is in Massachusetts on numbers, but that's 3/4 of the men demasculated because the programs aren't providing what's really needed, and that's a source of income. Now, I know the agencies get funded.
Indeed.
Grants.
Indeed.
Especially CDBG. I mean, they drain that. And when you go to, what I found is when you go to these agencies, the only help they have for you is referral.
Well, you know, there's another aspect to employment, and the other aspect there is being employable.
Well, you guys are employable. These guys aren't employable.
Well, that's my point, and that's why we refer them to training programs so they can learn a skill, right? As you well know, many of our fathers are undereducated. And in terms of opportunities, you know, historically, we haven't had the greatest of opportunities. So what I try to do from my end, right, is to help a father to develop a stronger sense of himself and what it means to be a father, again, in a man. And then I point him in the direction of certain opportunities that he can take advantage of.
Thank you, Mr. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
We might want to lambaste the man. We might want to ask him a question that embarrasses him.
Well, I don't even find.
Are you saying we can't? Can we or can we not ask what we want to ask? Because he's the problem. We're not up here to make you happy. We're up here to do the fatherhoods of Rhode Island. All that represents, we're the only thing we got, except for child support enforcement. We're the only thing these fathers have that will give them a job and direct them right. Now, and this is a fact. Do your homework. So I'm not trying to make them happy. I'm trying to ask these brothers, do you think we're spending that kind of money for these resorts and so forth, etc.? Is it bringing anything back to the community that will help these fathers get jobs and get back on their feet?
To answer that question, right, there are 300 people here. There are 300 people here, right, that work with fathers. So what this does, right, the money you're talking about that puts this together, it brings these people together to discuss ideas, to exchange ideas, to network, so that when I get back home, right, I've met 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, but we do this online in the 21st century.
I've met 3 or 4 people, right, that I can connect with, right, to develop programs. Here's what I did, for instance, right? I got some money from the Children's Trust Fund last 2 years ago, 3 years ago actually, right?
I hope you're getting all that.
To do a father's program, right? Okay, now what we could have done is done a program and just spent the money. What we decided to do, right, was to try to develop a self-sustaining program so that we could continue
perpetually funding.
Self-sustaining? So self-sustaining, so that so that we could continue servicing men. There are families in this Commonwealth, right, in Mass. There are families in New England, right, okay?
America.